Welcome to another Front-End Engineering Explained. So I have this problem, and the problem is as follows. So as you can see, here are four little containers, and it's inside a grid, and I'm using autofit and then a min-max of 15 rem or one fraction. Thing is, if I add a fifth, then we have like this dangling guy hanging over here. If we do, for example, if we just have three, things are good. If we have only two, things are good. But as soon as we have five, we have this dangly guy over here, and that's not super great. And this is actually a challenge we had on a recent project at Factorial. And the way I solved it there is we're using PHP and we're using the Twig template language. So basically I used that to put a custom class on top of the container to basically just say this thing now, I think I call it container extended or something like that. And then when it has that class, then I change up basically the track sizing over here to make it a bit wider so that it would wrap to two items at least on the next row. That's fine. And if you're also working in like a JavaScript framework kind of thing, then you'll also be able to do something like that. But I was kind of bummed. I was like, it'd be so nice if we could do it in CSS. And then I thought like, but you know what? There are these two features coming that you can already experiment with in the latest release of Chrome, Chrome 139, and that is sibling count and the if function. Now, sibling count, for example, you would do something like this, card count, and then here you'll do sibling count. And the idea is that this is the parent, and then it will see how many direct children it has, and then it will basically return that number. So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So card count, the value of card count would be 5. Now, so I thought, okay, sweet. And then if I use if, then inside if I can say if card count is greater than 4, then do this thing, else do the other thing. But unfortunately, the if you can't just use any old arbitrary conditionals inside this if function. Right now, and I don't know if this will change, maybe, maybe not, but right now, the only things you can use as conditionals inside your if are media queries, style queries, and supports queries. Don't get me wrong, super excited that this is a thing. Very, very excited. Also, I still think there's a lot of cool stuff we can do with sibling count. More on that in a different video. We're also getting sibling index, which is also going to be useful. But alas, even that doesn't allow me to move away from doing the thing in PHP or JavaScript or whatever. But I thought about it some more. And actually, we have a pseudo class today. We've had it for some time, where we can target a specific element in a group. And that's nth-child, the nth-child pseudo class. So we can either target a specific one, or we can, for example, use the keywords odd and even, and then target all the odd, so all the 1, 3, 5, 7 like that, or all the even ones. This is often used to do what we used to call zebra striping for tables. Maybe we still call it that. But that by itself isn't going to be super useful, isn't going to help me with this. But we have another pseudo class that's newer, but very well supported. It's newly available according to baseline. And that is has. And has is a condition, right? It says if this thing has this thing, do stuff. And it works. It works a treat. So let me show you what I ended up doing. So I create a custom property over here called track size. And I set that to my initial value, which is this, right? Sweet. And then in here we go and we use our custom property. So track size, right? So now if we go back to the browser, everything is still the same as it was before. And then I go down here, and I'm going to I'll do it using CSS nesting, but then I'll show you also how to do it without CSS nesting, because maybe you can't use CSS nesting. So I'm going to do ampersand has, and then nth child. And like this is not like in JavaScript where it's 0 indexed, so it's 1 indexed. So we want to say 5. So if it has a 5th child, then we want to just change the custom property. So our custom property kind of becomes this variable. Well, it is a variable, but we're changing the value of it based on our conditional. So we're going to change it to 20 rem. Now if we switch back, oh, nice. So how would you write this if, for example, you cannot use CSS nesting? So if you cannot, then we would take this out of here, and we'd have to move that as well. So we'll do that in a second. So you'll do container has like this, and then we'll also move our li, and we'll do container like this. Then we head back, and everything still works. And of course, now we can change this, blah, 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 blah. Where is it? There. So we can change this to 6, for example. Now it won't kick in. We'll go back to that. But of course, that's not what we want. So we'll go back to 5. And so, yeah, you can do it today without having to wait for those. And those wouldn't have solved the problem anyway. Still super excited about all these new things that's coming to CSS. Also, add function is coming, already available in, again, Chrome 139 if you want to play with it. But yeah, if you like this and if you want more tips and tricks and fun stuff like this with CSS and see all the great things we can do with CSS these days, hit the subscribe button. If you like this one, give it a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And yeah, in the meantime, make cool stuff, enjoy making for the web, and have fun. Peace.